Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, from ages 15 and older, women outnumber men in the territory. That's according to statistics from the United States Central Intelligence Agency. At a conference held to empower women, one male CEO informed that his company is run by mostly women. However, professional women, both locally and nationally, still have hardships in the workforce. News 2's Stephanie Brown reports.
Today, over 200 women attended the Women Striving for Success conference to gain further insight in networking and developing their professional careers. The conference was hosted by Senator Jeanette Milling-Young, who is one of 4 female senators serving beside 11 male pairs in the 32nd legislature. Jennifer Matarangas-King, Vice President of Public Relations and Government Affairs, was awarded the President's Award and expressed enthusiasm toward Milling-Young's deeds.
She's always thinking about the next step and how can we help young women be more involved. And so I'm really honored to receive this. You're an awesome person. You're doing amazing work, bringing all these folks together. And I can't thank you and Women Striving for Success, a wonderful team, enough.
The senator urged participants to listen carefully to the successful women on the panel that don't allow their careers to interfere with their family life. And both attendees and speakers spoke about the difficulties professional women endure.
I myself have been an advocate of women's rights and the right to have their place in the workplace, to have equal work for equal pay has been a major issue over the years here in the Virgin Islands as well as all over the states. Women have to work harder to prove themselves. It don't matter the level of education that they may have or experience or a combination of both.
So one of the things that I'll be discussing today is business as usual with where women are not paid equally. I'll be talking about the even though that the U.S. Virgin Islands have 52% women, there is an underrepresentation in government.
Newly sworn-in Senator Janelle Saru was also in attendance.
That was Stephanie Brown reporting. Now, Patty Loyak, the VP of IP Services at Comcast, Abel Bikar, owner of IBCVI, as well as Ian McPhee, the Director of Operations at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in St. Thomas, were some of the speakers at today's conference. Well, as we reported, Senate President Myron Jackson on Wednesday encouraged concerned residents to attend a public meeting to discuss the sudden reorganization and name change of the Virgin Islands National Park. And that meeting was organized by the Virgin Islands Unity Day Group that will include representatives from the National Park Service to provide information on how that change will affect the territory. Well, as we shared, Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett said she is disappointed by the disinformation circulated concerning the national park. There will be no changes to the park's names or legal authorities. The superintendents of each Caribbean park, St. Croix, St. John, and San Juan, will now report to a group superintendent station in the Caribbean. She has asked the Southeast Regional Director to come and speak directly to the community about this and other issues concerning the parks, as well as all the park managers, superintendents, and stakeholders. She intends to be at that meeting, which is again scheduled for August 3rd on St. John. Governor Kenneth Mapp has approved an act appropriating not more than $480,000 to purchase land required for Phase 2 of the Frederiksted Revitalization Project. He advises the legislature that the government is in negotiations with the owners and is prepared to begin eminent domain proceedings if a purchase agreement cannot be reached within the next 10 days. The governor has also approved an amendment to the Virgin Islands Code pertaining to the length of time a person may be detained to undergo mental health treatment, and an act repealing a section of the VI Code and adding a new chapter entitled the Virgin Islands Insurance Holding Company System Regulatory Act. He states that it brings the territory into compliance with the accreditation standards established by the National Association of Insurance Commissioners and puts local insurance laws on par with other United States jurisdictions. The governor has vetoed an appropriation that would have funded surveillance cameras at selected trash bin sites and recommends instead that the anti-litter and beautification funds be used by the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority to construct new trash convenience centers to replace more of the unsightly bins currently in use. Well, Virgin Islands Fire Service personnel responded to a rash of structural fires overnight on the island of St. John. They say on Wednesday, July 19th at 7:23 p.m., Fire Service personnel responded to a structural fire at Carolina Coral Bay Quarters. Fire personnel found the second floor of 2 stories dwelling fully engulfed in flames. Firefighters on the scene commenced with fire suppression operations. Additional units were ordered to the scene. Within 10 minutes, the fire was extinguished and fire personnel conducted the salvage and overhaul operations at the scene. Both floors of the structure did sustain significant smoke and water damage. Well, also on Thursday, this fire took place at around 7:55 p.m. There was a structural fire at Eneid, number 4 Cruise Bay. Fire personnel found a wooden structure, they say, containing 2 residences and 2 businesses fully engulfed in flames. Both on-duty and off-duty fire service personnel battled the blaze for over an hour until the fire was completely extinguished. Salvage and overhaul operations of the scene was later conducted upon the arrival of the fire marshal. The entire structure sustained extensive fire damage and was completely destroyed. Both fires are presently under investigation by the St. Thomas St. John Arson Prevention and Investigation Unit. Police said 2 men were shot dead in St. Thomas in the wee hours of Friday morning in Smith Bay in the vicinity of Lake's Chicken Fry. According to our VIPD, Glenn is standing by.
Also informed 911 that there were 2 males lying on the ground. Responding officers arrived at the scene of Value Foods convenience store and observed the male, who appeared to have suffered at least 1 gunshot, lying on the steps just outside the business. A few feet away outside of Lake's Chicken Fry restaurant, officers discovered a second male who also appeared to have been a victim of gunshot. Both males appeared to be unresponsive. EMTs arrived on the scene and pronounced both male victims deceased at the scene. The names of the male victims are being withheld pending notification of next of kin. Anyone having any information about this crime, please contact the Virgin Islands Police Department at 340-774-2211, the Major Crime Unit at 340-714-5554. You can also call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or 911.
Meanwhile, nearby residents are shocked. Roy Chesterfield, who is the president of the Smith Bay Community Action Foundation, said this is the 4th individual killed in the Smith Bay community, and he said, "We would like to offer our deepest condolences to the families of the victims." Our organization, he says, is geared towards revitalizing, beautifying, and removing the criminal element from this neighborhood. He said, "We as members condemn this kind of activity on our island and our communities as a whole. We will assist our law enforcement family with whatever resources and information we are able to receive to put an end to these senseless killings." U.S. Virgin Islands Juvenile Justice Reform Team members have returned from learning new strategies for crime prevention in Richmond, Virginia. In March 2017, Governor Ken Mapp encouraged the formation of the Virgin Islands Juvenile Reform Team, comprised of members from all 3 branches of government. Members from the U.S. Virgin Islands Juvenile Team submitted an application to the National Governors Association for consideration for a technical assistance opportunity surrounding reform. After careful vetting process, the panel selected the U.S. Virgin Islands along with teams representing Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, and Oklahoma to participate. Now, representatives traveled to Richmond, Virginia to learn about Virginia's transformation efforts surrounding juvenile justice. While in Virginia, team members made contact with individuals representing agencies such as Homeland Security, Public Safety, and the National Governors Association, as well as other key agencies. And Tonio Santas, 45 of St. Croix, was sentenced yesterday to 57 months in prison, 5 years of supervised release, and a fine of $1,000 for possession of child pornography. District Court Chief Judge Wilma Lewis ordered Santas to pay a $100 special assessment as well. They say on December 21st, 2016, Santas Carmona pleaded guilty to 1 count of possession of child pornography. According to the plea agreement filed in court, he admitted to possessing pornography images that showed minor males and females engaged in sexually explicit conduct with adults and other minors. Also, Ikayona Joku, 30 of Los Angeles, California, was sentenced to 8 months imprisonment and 3 years of supervised release for possession with intent to distribute marijuana. They say on March 16th, Njoku pleaded guilty to count of possession with intent on October 15th at the Sierra Leone King Airport. U.S. Customs and Border Protection K-9 detected narcotics in a checked bag belonging to Joku. And Joku had taken an American Airlines flight from Miami to St. Thomas. Officers examined the contents of the bag, resealed the bag, and placed it on the carousel for retrieval. When Joku retrieved the bag, CBP officers seized and field tested approximately 5.9 kilograms of marijuana from the bag. Well, stick around. We have much more straight ahead. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Harbor transportation is essential to improving visitor experience. That came out of the meeting. Governor Mapp has now made the implementation of harbor transportation a priority, and proposals are now formally evaluated for a ferry service that will move passengers from the cruise ship docks to downtown Charlotte-Amalie and Water Island. Gustav James, Public Works Commissioner, reported that the RFP process is ahead of schedule and harbor transportation services are expected to be operational by year's end. Here's more from that cruise ship task force town hall. Governor Kenneth Mapp urged attendees at Thursday's cruise ship town hall meeting to be candid and work collectively to raise the satisfaction bar of travelers visiting the U.S. Virgin Islands. Members of the Mapp Potter administration and representatives of the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association offered presentations on issues of concern to a large public gathering at Frenchman's Reef and Morningstar Beach Resort, focusing on opportunities to reverse the downward trend in cruise passenger traffic, expenditure, and guest satisfaction scores.
I am prepared as governor at the outset to tell you that I will make the tough decisions that the public sector need to do to make this change occur.
The task force comprised representatives from the private sector, including retail stores, ground transportation operators, spirits distributors, and restaurants. Virgin Islands Port Authority, the West Indian Company, the Department of Tourism, Department of Property and Procurement, and the Department of Public Works, as well as the Office of the Governor and members of the 32nd Legislature.
Our governor called me to his office, and I thought it was for our routine meeting of the month. And he indicated to me that he was giving me a task, which was to work on the cruise industry specifically, to really start working with the public-private sector. I suggested to him that we revisit a concept that had worked in the past, which was having a public-private sector partnership task force so that we could work.
Cruise line executives and industry experts say traffic congestion and lack of water transportation from either the West Indian Company or Crown Bay Dock are chief among visitors' complaints about Charlotte-Amalie.
We must immediately develop a short-term plan to gain and grow our cruise ship calls, as well as show the FCCA once again that we are committed and serious. Including in that short term must be the following: implementation of water transportation, completion of the downtown historic revitalization, immediate dredging and at the entrance of our main harbor, as well as our turnaround basin to accommodate larger Oasis-class ships at the Waiko facility.
You have such a phenomenal leadership in the Virgin Islands, and together we can be strong. As the governor said, this is Team USVI, and I'm proud to be a member of this team. But as I was saying, global competition is knocking at your door. Ships are going to Asia, Australia, but the Caribbean is still important.
A similar task force is being developed for St. Croix and will launch in the fall. Well, the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority Board conducted a quick meeting Wednesday and approved funding for several significant contracts. To finalize payments for projects on St. Thomas and St. Croix, the board voted unanimously to approve a memorandum to arrange for increased vendor payments of more than $224,000 through the VI Public Finance Authority for the Company Street Sewer Line Rehabilitation Project in Christiansted and a similar project in Anna's Retreat on St. Thomas. They also authorized an additional $17,500 for chemicals for an injection system at the Barron Spot pump station and manholes. Well, are you interested in hearing a thing or two about trash? Well, a presentation and discussion co-hosted by Antilles School will soon give St. Thomas residents the chance to talk trash with Allison Fraley, Solid Waste Program Development Coordinator for Ka'au County in Hawaii. The public forum will be held 6 p.m. Monday, July 24th in Praia Lake Hall at Antilles. All residents are welcomed and encouraged to attend. During her visit to the VI, July 24 to 28, she will also meet with Waste Management Authority officials, and VI senators will be participating in public forums. As you see, they're all mentioned there, including the Praia Lake Hall, 6 p.m. July 24th, as well as the Tap Room, Mongoose Junction, St. John on the 26th, and then the 28th at the Guy Benjamin Community Center in Coral Bay. Her efforts have helped significantly increase the Kauai's waste diversion rate, putting in place effective programs as well. Time for our summer camp segment. Today at the Altoona Lagoon, we met the Marine Sports Camp under the Department of Sports, Parks, and Recreation. Here's a closer look.
I'm with the Department of Sports, Parks, and Recs, Marine Sports East Edition. Our main focus here is marine sports, which means that we use our marine environment to teach the children how to be safe in, on, and around the water through water safety, how to kayak, snorkel, respect the reefs and the ocean life that are here, how to read the ocean and look for rip currents. We get here in the morning, we play some games, and we get out and we do a swimming lesson, kayaking, or snorkeling. And we have school lunch, and then we open swim. We either dive off the bridge here at Lagoon, or we snorkel, kayak, or fish. There are other camps available through the Sports, Parks, and Rec Department. We have tennis, baseball, cheerleading, basketball, softball. We have a lot of camps that still have openings this summer, and we go all the way till August 18th.
Good job there. Virgin Islands Department of Education State Office of Special Education invites the community to public presentations of the 8th Annual Parental Satisfaction Survey results. Presentation will be held in the St. Croix District on Wednesday, July 26 at UVI Northwest Wing, rooms 102 and 103. Now, the St. Thomas St. John District results will be presented on Thursday, July 27th in room 142 of UVI's Admin and Conference Center. Presentations are scheduled from 6 to 8 p.m. on both days. The coal pot was once the only method of preparing a hot meal, and many say it is still the best. Coal pots are a cooking method dating from before kitchen stoves were around. And the pots are ceramic, iron, or aluminum, all of which have been represented in the past 2 years at that Pot Cookoff that's coming up. It's a festival event on St. Thomas hosted by the St. Thomas Historical Trust from noon to 4 p.m. in Emancipation Garden. Many ingredients that will be used will be from local farmers, with VI farmers and crafters also on hand to sell their fresh produce and wares. Public is invited to enjoy a historic lunch, sampling a variety of fresh island foods cooked in a new old way. Competing for first, second, and third prizes are professional chefs, including Julius Jackson, Chef Taj, and more. Sponsors include VIA, USVI Department of Tourism, Merchants Bank, Seachess Ace, KLR Restaurant, and John Brewers. Second annual Lasagna Extravaganza, that is coming up on Sunday at Abbey Beach. It's a benefit for the Family Resource Center. You have the opportunity to show off your cooking talent by entering. There will be prizes for best meat, best veggies, and best seafood. There is an entry fee of $50. Entries must be at Abbey Beach by 11:30 a.m. for 12 p.m. judging. Lasagna tickets, $1 each. Frenchtown Brewing Company, they're celebrating their 2nd anniversary of craft beer production on St. Thomas. That's this Saturday, July 22nd. Frenchtown will be transformed into a beer garden at 6 p.m., co-sponsored by Rum Shandy and Pie Hole. Beer lovers are invited to celebrate another year of authentic island-hopped ales from 6 to 11 p.m. Newest seasonal beer, the anniversary ale, will be on tap, as well as the company's signature favorites, including Hop Alley IPA, Frenchy Farmhouse, and the 86 and Sunny Pale Ale. Frenchtown Brewing opened on St. Thomas July 2015 on 2nd floor of the Frenchtown Mall by partners Kevin Brown and local entrepreneur Nicholas Van Heer. Operations are handled by Terry Brown, CEO of MLB Creative. That's the local firm responsible for the brewer's branding and marketing. And a major part of the brewery's success is the passion of head brewer Kevin Brown, a chemist with over 20 years of home brewing experience to brew professionally. They have hosted thousands of locals and visitors for tours and tasting, resulting in a 5-star rating on TripAdvisor and on Facebook. Again, the public is welcome to the Frenchtown Beer Garden Happy Anniversary event on Saturday. Now, from now through Sunday, the Assembly Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses at 23 North Charlton Road in Frederiksted, they're holding a convention from 9:30 a.m. to 5, and the theme is Don't Give Up. It includes talks, interviews, multimedia presentations, and a feature film. Here's more.
Well, we see a lot of young people really turning to the Bible. We know that they're under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and so young people are really turning to the Bible to help them to navigate through life and to navigate successfully. And so that is something that is encouraging. And despite the negative media you hear about young people in the Virgin Islands, we have a lot of them really turning to the Word of God.
Be sure to stick around. News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Made it to the weekend, and we have a look at your forecast on this Friday night, and we are seeing a couple of spotty showers in the forecast as we head into our Saturday here. You can see just north of us there is a tropical wave, and that continues to work its way to the north, so that's not going to have any impact on our weather here. However, we can't rule out the chance of a shower or even a downpour as we head throughout the day on Saturday. So we'll get through the forecast first with tonight. Partly cloudy, a little bit muggy out there tonight. We're expecting temperatures right around 79 degrees here, and heading into the start of your weekend for your Saturday forecast. Again, there will be a shower or two around. I'd say Saturday is going to be the wettest of the 2 days this weekend. St. John, we're looking at a high of 89 degrees tomorrow with a shower around. Not going to be an all-day rain event, so you can still hang out outside, get errands done. St. Thomas, we're looking at temperatures right around 89 degrees as well with a shower or two. St. Croix, temperatures possibly getting into the low 90s out there for your Saturday. Hey, if you're heading out on the water, here's a look at your marine forecast. The Atlantic side, we're seeing waves between 3 to 5 feet. Winds are out of the east, 10 to 15 knots, and we're also seeing similar conditions out on the Caribbean side. So no advisories, no warnings we have to tell you about, but as always, make sure you are exercising caution, especially this time of the year here in the summer season. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Well, on Sunday, we could still see a shower or two around, but as I mentioned, I think Saturday will be the wetter of the 2 days. Saturday, any of the showers that roll into the region could produce a downpour, but it should be quick moving on Saturday. Temperatures as we head into early next week by Monday. High temperatures look to top out near 90 degrees. We could see a shower in spots there, but keep in mind it will be spotty in nature. We also could see a shower or two Tuesday and also Wednesday. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you for that. Jada Ross of Great Minds Summer Learning Academy sends this beautiful, colorful picture there using some purple and orange. Jada, or is that pink? Thank you for your submission. Have a wonderful weekend. And send your News 2 weather picture to the address right there on the screen, and then tune in. Well, we have more straight ahead. Stick around. News 2 Sports is coming up next.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. Happy Friday, everyone. Yay! The Rakeem Christmas Foundation Weekend Extravaganza goes into slam dunk mode this weekend, beginning with the block party tonight at the Hotel Caravel on the boardwalk. There will be plenty of live music, action, hoops, and more. Saturday morning at 9 a.m., there's a dedication for the new basketball court at the Frederiksted Boys and Girls Club. Now, last Sunday, the new court was assembled with the help of many volunteers. Saturday night, late afternoon into the evening, it's the big show. The Christmas in July All-Star Classic, which features a skill challenge, a slam dunk contest, and a three-point shootout. Following that, it's the All-Star Game, featuring the best ballers from St. Croix taking on the best ballers from St. Thomas St. John. Wait, we're not done yet. The following NBA players are scheduled to appear: Glenn Robinson III, Miles Turner, Maurice Spites, Jeremy Grant, Chris McCullough, and Quinn Cook. Plus, I can tell you for a fact there will be additional surprises galore. It's an action-packed weekend that will have people talking about it for years to come. I plan on being there tomorrow night. I hope to see you there. Sandy, back to you.
Thanks for that, Gary. And we know if we missed it, you will share the highlights with us. That's all for now. We'd like to tell everybody have a wonderful weekend on behalf of all of us. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time.